Hey everyone, welcome back. I know it's been a while since I've done my last update. I have been very busy. My work has pulled us back temporarily from working from home. I got stuck on working with animations. There's a lot of things that went on that prevented me from making a video, but I have been working on it as much as I can. I have fallen behind also. I try to give myself like 15 tasks to do in a week. They don't have to be hard. It could be easy, just anything that makes progress. And I think I am about a total of 3-ish weeks behind. That's including this week, so I guess 2 weeks. But there will be a lot of changes. I don't fully remember everything that has been added. I do want to start to, keep a text file, kind of more of like a change log that maybe I could pull up next time. At least for the important items, not some of the stupid things you won't notice from looking at it. But let's just jump right into it. Here we go. Let me start it. You can tell it already looks different. There's a bunch of things. First thing off the bat, I changed the model of the character. I guess of all the characters, enemies, some of the settlers. I got them off Mixamo. I found it a little easier to just steal some of those. I don't want to say steal. Some of those animations that fit better with their body or their model. I am already just noticing that the player's feet are moving while he's idling. I guess I'll write that down afterward. But as you can tell, you can see there are 3 dumb settlers walking against trees. Haven't done anything to the AI, but the colors do mean something different. Let's see. I think this is the original one that you guys have seen before. It's an engineer. He fixes a tower. So if I go hurt, he'll get to it. And I did give him a little animation. Don't really know what he's doing, but it kind of looked like it worked. So I got that done. Let's see, this brown guy, he's a lumberjack, so he chops down trees. He's doing a chopping animation right now without an axe. I do plan on giving them tools to be able to hold. Right now, and he's going to plant it. And there we go. And then he goes to the next one. Until it's done. There are some tools. This guy took it. Oh, this I haven't seen before. And this is an issue. Usually when I code by myself, I don't do maximize on play. I'm just doing it so that you guys can see things in game better. So I have to do that more often. But here are a few tools. As you see, they spawn in the hand. I did actually model all of these. I'm proud of myself. They do look pretty good, and they do each do a little bit different damage. As you see, the animation for hitting is the same for all of them, except for the axe. I actually gave the axe a chopping animation because of that guy. So he's already doing some chopping, so why not give him an animation? I added this. This is new. This is a storage. As you see, it's overlapping right now, but it does completely work, and it does have some sounds, and it does have an animation of opening and closing, which took a little bit of time because it was the first, I guess, animation thing that I put in this, other than the idle walk and run, but that was because it was already given. Let's see. Oh, this guy, he is a miner, so he will eventually mine. He doesn't really do anything special. I just gave him the typical mine rocks, so once he could get past that, he doesn't have any animation to do it because I literally just added him the other day. So don't go too crazy about that. I also wanted to change. Did someone take it from me? Yeah. I also wanted to change the way that you place items. I kind of wanted things to be a little more grid-like when you place things, or at least the world, because eventually I'm going to add some height to this game. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it yet. I'll figure that out eventually. But right now, when you place an item, it should snap to the grid. As you see, I changed the chunks from being a large 10x10 plane prefab to being auto-generated. You can't really tell, but that 10x10 prefab chunk is now, it's still 10x10, but each little piece is its own little square that I could give its own texture. As you see, there's a bunch of different textures on the ground. That was a pretty good test. I'm not going to make it so much of a difference of a color, like the brown, dark green, light green. So I will get to that. Let's see. So with this inventory, these guys know how to empty their inventory. As you see, this guy's already emptied it. So I'm going to actually give all this stuff back to him. And before, I just kind of waited a little bit of timer so it wasn't instant and they would just dump it all at once. But yesterday, actually, I was able to make it so that it looks a little nicer, and like the time it takes for a settler to empty his storage is how full his storage is, or his inventory. So I do have this button right here on the interactions list, empty inventory. So he will go to the nearest storage and empty his inventory. As you can see, so you could look and you could watch him as he empties everything, and then he should be done, and then on to whatever he was doing next. Just by looking at this, I really have to work on their AI on pathing. I know I talked about this last video, but it really does suck. Yeah, so if we go back to the inventory UI, I did do a lot of updates on that. Let's see. I don't remember what I showed last video, but you know, you could do all the normal stuff that you could in, like, I guess, a Minecraft inventory. You could split it between multiple stacks. Let's see, you could shift click it and it goes to your hotbar and then back over here. If you have something like this, you could shift click it here and then you could shift click it back over here. It's kind of hard to, I might exit this and go into like my small little version and you could see what it looks like when I normally play. But another cool thing I added is that you could change the name of the storage. Let's call it different name, and then hit enter, and then it sets it to it. And then so when you leave, let's say we go to his inventory, it just says inventory, and then we go back, it says different name. So I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. I just wanted to do it. It works. It might be cool too. When you look at it, it'll say what the storage is, so that you know you can maybe be a little more organized. Let's see. I changed the enemy spawner a little bit to spawn enemies kind of randomly at a radius from the center. There is really nothing that they do. I want to give them a little idle walk so they're not just standing there, but they still do lock on. That guy's locked on to someone else. Yeah, let's see if we can get him coming. So the tower still shoots. I added a punch animation of them. It does suck, yes, I know. I need to fix some of the timing on the animation. Still got a little bit of work to do on that, but I think it looks a lot better than it did probably last video. Wow, this guy's pushing me. Oh yeah, so something else I added was in the hotbar at the bottom. You could obviously see the items and the numbers, but if you change, it'll say the, I guess, the name of the item. So let's say you pick something up and you're like, what the heck is that? And, you know, you could look at it there, or you could switch to it. But then again, you could always hold it here in the main menu, and then it'll show it on the right side. Something else I added, which isn't too big of a deal. There, let's see. So this settler has a empty inventory right now. So if I go to his interaction list, I kind of blurred out, or I disabled the empty inventory button, meaning that, you know, he can't do it. And same with like the heal buttons, like he already has full health, so you can't heal him some more. You could hurt him, and I did try to make all these buttons update normally, so that, let's say I hurt him right now, the buttons should, there we go, they do update the ability so I can press them. Let's see, those are some of the big ones. I'm looking on my list that I have right now. Oh, I don't know if you noticed, here, let me pull in these guys. I did add a ragdoll to the enemies. There are a couple bugs with it. Okay, so he's locked on, so when he dies, he should ragdoll. And he does. So yeah, he does, and then he should disappear after like 5 seconds. And there's a bug. His collider is still here, as you see him walking forward, but I'm walking into his collider. So I did see a video where someone made a ragdoll script or whatever that's basically in charge of handling the ragdoll. So an issue I originally had was the health bar didn't disappear, or he was still moving even though he was dead. That was, I guess, not really a ragdoll problem, it was just a death problem. But I need to make sure that I turn off the health bar, I need to turn off the collider, and anything else for the enemy. And that would go with like a settler. Or even me if I ragdoll. I guess if I ragdoll, the game's over. But if it's multiplayer, then those are things that I'd have to think of. Let's see what else. Oh, I did. So since I do have different tools now, they do each do a little bit of damage based on what you're hitting. So this wrench against a tree does like 1 damage. A pickaxe, 1 damage. A sword, to me, it sounds like it does a little more damage to wood. Like, I could probably hack out a tree with a sword and do a little bit of damage. So I gave it a little bit more damage. And an axe does 5. An axe does more. So I did make things a little bit more tool or damage type based. So like a sword is going to do more damage to an enemy than a wrench will. Like, yeah, it's still going to do some damage. Each of these will, but there's a better weapon for the job. Same with mining rocks. Like I already mined all the rocks. If I take a sword to it, wrench, sword, I'm just going to dole out the sword. If I take the pick to it, boom, 5. They have a little bit more health. So I do want to add some more animations for the type of weapon I'm using. The wrench I added in for like fixing towers and all that. So I guess there isn't really any like hitting animation. I was thinking about maybe just doing the same thing with like a sword, but I'll get there when I get there. I could say a couple things that I want to add. I actually want to add electricity to this game. So towers won't really work unless you have electricity, or certain items won't work unless you have electricity. So like there'll be batteries and solar panels, windmills, some of the things you could hook up to generate electricity, so that you could power these things constantly. That's something that I've always been interested in. So watching a few videos about some of those crazy Minecraft mod packs where like they add electricity and they add like different blocks that take electricity to work. Not just redstone, but like the actual electricity part. I think that is really all I have to say for this one. I guess since it has been a while, it does seem like a bigger update. Something else I added, when you hit a tree, it kind of does a little shake. I was trying to get something like that to work. It was being a pain in the ass. I didn't want to write a shader, so I just kind of made a little animation for it and changed the scale of it to like wobble up and down. There's a few things that I want to do, like if you see it wobbles and takes damage like right away, but like he just started swinging his axe. I'm trying to find a way to do that. I feel like maybe either I use the collider for the axe to see the trees, so maybe I can hit multiple trees or something, or maybe just put a delay dealing damage. You can still place items, but on the grid. You can technically place multiple of them on the same grid. But other than that, I think that's all I have to tell you. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and are ready for my next update whenever that comes. Thank you for watching. See you next time.